tidy. Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I thought we would squeeze in a cheeky podcast on a Wednesday night. It is Wednesday, isn't it? I think so. Anyway, who knows? Who cares? And tonight I'm joined by everyone's favourite knight. Look at that. Ragical's wearing a hat. Good evening, Mr. Ragical. How are you, sir?
You don't want to know where I got the hat, by the way, but I'm doing fine.
Yes, there is actually one missing off my wall. I don't know if anyone's noticed. And I'm completely distraught and devastated. Not one single person noticed that I had decorated my studio and that I now have a swanky, dark grey backdrop.
I saw it. Maybe the rest is colorblind. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe nobody actually cares.
It looks a lot... It looks better than the white wall, but you don't get into trouble as well about that, because I don't know if you know about the nostalgia critic, right?
I don't actually.
From a bit of a beige color to pure white, and he got a lot of flack for that, so beware.
Yeah. Strange. Anyway, I'm all about research these days, Ragical. And
really?
My research tells me that you started your channel on the 26th of June, 2018. Is that correct, sir, from the best of your knowledge?
Well, from the best of my knowledge, that is probably correct. I'll have to check that even, because, but I trust your research there.
That's what the tubes tell me, and that was the entirety of my research.
I see.
That was all I did, because that was all I needed to do.
I have to do two things, I guess, like go to my channel.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna check up on you right now. It's going to be some research of your research.
Oh, I did have multiple tabs open while I was doing the research, so it's completely valid.
Yeah.
And dare I say high IQ in quality.
Well, that is confirmed because you are 100% correct, sir.
Absolutely. See, I am a master researcher. It must be all these flat Earth videos I've. Tidy. Oh, new subscriber, tidy.
I hear something in the background.
It was my tidiness acting up in the background. Anyway,
spiffy, eh?
Spiffy indeed. Spiffy and tidy. So would that be Spidey or Tiffy? If we had to combine it as YouTube's first power couple.
Probably.
Right then. So I've always wanted to know, and I did mention this to you earlier on, and I'm sure everybody else would be interested to find out where Ragical The Unhallowed Knight came from, and I mean the name, not the person.
Ah, all right. Good thing you mentioned that. I spawned into this world, into a castle. But Ragical and the name, it actually came from, Ragical. It's kind of a combination of magical, radical, and maybe rage. I think Beaver said it was rage as well, because he always mispronounces the name as Ragical. Kind of funny, because it kind of fits as well. Sometimes. Yeah. And it turns out there is even an Urban Dictionary entry from 2011, which explains the exact same thing.
I think I remember you pointing that out to me before. In fact, I'm almost certain you did, because you sent me a link or a picture of the definition of it.
I was kind of surprised about that it is also almost the exact same thing as I had in mind. So I'm guessing great think alike. Yeah,
the Urban Dictionary seems to be where non-words end up. So if you just want to make up a word, it just seems to end up in the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, but it predates me, so
yeah. So did you steal it from the Urban Dictionary?
Oh, I came across it. Someone actually mentioned it. It was like, hey, it's on the Urban Dictionary, and I'm like, oh, is that a fact? Well, let's have a look then.
And the rest is history. So obviously, we make content about the same people.
Oh yeah,
the same types.
The same types.
Yeah, I'm trying to be diplomatic and polite. So if you had to, and I kind of think I know the answer to this anyway, but if you could choose to make content about something completely unrelated to flat Earth and conspiracies, what would it be?
Well, we are kind of into that kind of thing, but yeah, flat Earth. I did a video on it where I addressed all my flat Earth sillies in one video at 30-second intervals. My God, that was one hell of a video to make, because these people like to drag on. But yeah, flat Earth is kind of dead to me. It's done and dusted, and I have moved on to other stuff like you got your spirit science fella, which I handled in 2 videos. People were very frustrated with that guy. Yeah, I can understand. Also, that guy. Speaking of him, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's literally gone from the internet. He is no more.
Oh, he's closed this channel down, is he?
Yeah, same as Scotty Storm. So we are making progress, but the problem is that Earth we removed from the internet. Well, they removed themselves. There's more popping up, so it's not actually dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I am doing other stuff as
so you're you're basically sort of evolving your channel and into other things that you'd prefer to be talking about aside from flat Earth, yeah?
Yeah, it's mostly going into the woo science right now. I like to slap some woo around.
Yeah. I'm sure there's another knight who's a fan of the woo.
Oh yeah. He also is a fan of whiskey.
Yeah. I can't imagine why anyone would be a fan of whiskey. It just tastes like diesel. Not that I've ever tasted diesel. Or maybe it's unleaded. I suppose it depends on the brand of whiskey, doesn't it?
Yeah, there are some whiskey fanatics who say this whiskey is better than this whiskey, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, I know. I'm afraid when it comes to alcohol, I'm completely uncultured. If I go out for a drink somewhere and they ask me even which beer I want, I generally just say whichever one's the cheapest because they all taste exactly the same to me, which usually upsets alcohol connoisseurs. But
yeah, well. That's a problem.
Yeah, and I'm back on the Pepsi Max anyway because my diet is on pause at the minute because I'm trying to maintain it now rather than make myself a completely miserable butt face for the rest of my life.
So you're back to 15 crates per week or something?
No, I'm limiting myself to 2 cans a day for the moment. Okay. But if I notice I'm starting to put weight back on, I'll have to go back to as we call it in Swansea, council pop, which is otherwise known as water.
Okay, yeah, well, that's a fancy name for water.
It is. It was that. I think that phrase was coined by my grandfather, God rest his soul. Yes, he would often offer us a glass of council pop.
I see, council pop.
Yeah. So
a Dutch version of that as well.
Yeah. Go on then.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
See, that's why I just say things and then I don't go on because I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I know the feeling, mate. I absolutely know the feeling, which is why these questions are cunningly disguised just out of shot so that I can glance across. Otherwise, I would just end up asking nothing, basically. So anyway, talking about questions, obviously you enjoy doing what you do because you continue to... Yeah, are you still there, mate? I think I lost you a little bit then.
All right.
Are you there? Hello?
I am still there.
Oh, he's still there. So obviously you enjoy being a YouTuber, otherwise you wouldn't continue to do it. But what exactly is it about making the types of video you do that you enjoy that, you know, enough to the point where you want to keep making them?
Well, the thing is, the origin of what I did, I just started the channel because someone told me I should take this road on the show, like you say, right?
Yeah.
So I used to do the comments on videos like Flat Earthers back in the day, that atheism stuff as well. That was kind of funny, but kind of fruitless as well.
Yeah.
Because, but I took that into a video, and basically what I did in the comments is what I do in the videos as well. It's just a bit of fun for me.
Yeah. So really, you were just sort of poking flat earthers with a stick, and then it became something, and you thought, well, if I'm poking them with a stick in other people's comment sections, then maybe I could poke them in video format.
Oh yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, it's I mean, sometimes I do some debunks, and but that has been done by Cool Hard Logic. Martimer does that. We got all kinds of people who have done that before, and I was like, let's put it into entertainment mode because that's a lot more fun. Sometimes I do the debunks, but it's usually just for entertainment.
Yeah,
because there's no claim that is actually supposed to be addressed.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's basically the same sort of philosophy as I use in my videos, because, you know, like you say, there's plenty of other channels out there that do an amazing job of debunking the flat earth. Not that it takes much debunking, but, you know, I sort of thought, you know, there's plenty of room for people who just want to point and laugh, which is, I think, what we both do. People seem to like it.
Yeah, I find it more enjoyable. Just and also we don't get personal. My idea is I just take the character, like initially I think like, oh hey, you seem like a spiffy fella or lady. I have some ladies in the Order of Vasilis as well, but most of them are men. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. This does seem to be a predominantly male environment for some strange reason, because I was looking at my analytics today, and I think it was 85% of my audience are male, which, you know, it's fine. You know, it makes no difference either way. You know, I don't care who's watching, men, women, or anyone else. You know, but it does seem that it's heavily swayed towards men.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, right? There are no women on the internet. That's the age-old saying.
Yeah. I'm afraid to delve into that any further, but...
Oh, we won't.
Because, no, we definitely won't.
It's a blatant lie, but it's funny.
Yeah. So what is it about flat earthers and conspiracy theorists that you think makes them a problem that needs addressing by the likes of you and I and all the other guys?
Yeah, well, the thing is, most of these people tend to have influence over minors as well, right? And YouTube says they don't have, 13 and younger on YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, what is their age gate even? You just make an account and you log in. No?
I was just going to say, you know, my youngest son has had a YouTube account for the longest time, and it's, you know, for YouTube to think that, you know, kids under 13 aren't logging in. Obviously, they know they are, but there's no sort of, you know, you don't have to prove your age. So basically, as soon as you can type youtube.com into your preferred internet explorer, you can sign up for an account, and you just have to manipulate the date of birth. So, you know, that's the whole thing with these copper regulations now. You know, how do they know that an account that shows the owner as being 20 years old isn't a 10-year-old child? They've got no way of policing that, have they?
I'm not even sure if for the normal public content that is not age gated. I mean, my videos are not age gated as far as I know, because you don't get a message on it.
Yeah, mine aren't either. You can choose to do that, but, you know, I think that would have the potential to severely restrict our audience then, you know, if we did age restrict the videos.
Yeah.
So it just seems like a pointless exercise from our side of the fence anyway, you know. I know for maybe some parents that don't want their kids watching inappropriate content, it's a good thing, but certainly not for us, because, you know, the more the merrier.
There's also the thing, you don't even have to log in to watch the videos.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, even the measures they've got in place are fairly useless, really. Yeah.
It's a public website.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, you and I, we point and laugh rather than get overly scientific. So does that mean you don't get as many spiteful negative comments as some of the other guys? Or if you do, you know, how much attention do you pay to them? Does it bother you at all, or is it just water off a duck's back?
Well, I'm kind of a odd one about that. If people start to troll and becoming really toxic, you know, as long as they don't do the no words, right? I don't delete their comments, but I just engage with them, and the more toxic they become, the nicer I become, and that just pisses them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's generally, you know, I use that principle in real life as well, because I find that if you argue with somebody and you are combative, it seems to. It's almost as if that's what they want, But if you were extra nice to them, that seems to antagonize them even more, which can be fun.
It also exposes the fake trolls, by the way.
Because, exactly.
If you want to do your troll training, right? Your anti-trolling, you have to go to Twitter, because that is a cesspool right there.
Twitter is fairly toxic, in fairness.
If you got people on there that are actually engaging with you and starting to become toxic, and you become nice and they become nice as well, you know they're playing your game. So
exactly. Exactly. But, the Twitter does seem to be a bit of a free for all. I know they've got certain rules and they can ban people, and they do ban people, but they don't seem to have anywhere near the sort of the restrictions that we find on YouTube anyway.
Well, it's usually if you report someone from Twitter will just go over your account and see if you violate any TOS and either ban you temporarily or ban you out.
Or ban you forever. So do you remember your first negative comment, or is there a comment that particularly stands out that really sort of got you going?
Yeah, to be honest, it's early 2019, right? I started to gain some traction because of the whole Pratt saga, Mr. Daniel Pratt. So he's a really toxic man, but the thing is, he doesn't really leave comments on other videos. He just makes a constant stream of videos. That's all he does, which gives us a lot of content. But he is I always say he is my control for letting people into the Order of the Sillies and into the Silly Dungeon. Because if you are ranking below Mr. Pratt, you're not worth my time.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like you say, he spits videos out every 5 minutes, then suddenly he's no longer going to make videos, but then he suddenly starts again. But they're completely nonsensical. Nothing of any substance ever seems to come from
the silly
from anything he says.
It actually seems like he thinks he's spewing gold. It's it's interesting to see that train wreck.
Yeah, but that applies to a lot of people that from the flat Earth side of the street. They seem to think that they've got this amazing knowledge that nobody else has, and that gives them license to lord it over people, as if they're a member of some secret organization and only they are privy to the true information about the shape of the Earth. And it's just complete insanity, in my humble opinion.
That sums about up flat Earth in one sentence.
Yeah, it's it's. And I watched a video earlier on today, and Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about this, and he was saying that, as far as he can tell, the biggest thing for anybody that believes in flat Earth, well, there was two things. One of them was what I just mentioned, having this exclusive knowledge that mere mortals like you and I don't have. And then the other thing is belonging to a community of like-minded people, which I get, but maybe they should be a little bit more selective over the minds they want to be like.
Yeah, it's always that. I mean, the initial. If you've seen any debates of flat earthers, for instance, their initial thing is they don't have any respect for the other person. That's point number one. Yeah. And number two is they instantly jump into victim mentality mode. One is against them, and they have special knowledge, and because they have special knowledge, everyone is against them. It's like a circular, perpetual, vicious cycle of sad sack.
Yeah, because I know I said this to Anti-Flatter on Sunday, and I believe I said it to Mr. Sensible as well. Our community is an actual community, and by that I mean we all sort of support each other, we all talk about each other's content, we all communicate, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of fallouts in our community. But Flat Earth, that community, they all hate people like us, but they also seem to equally hate each other. So it must be very lonely being a flat earther, or any other conspiracy theorist for that matter.
yeah, it's so sometimes there are some people I feel sorry for, and also I don't address them in my videos. I do have one in there that's Frankie B. Flat, for instance.
Yeah.
So he's a really into flat Earth, but he also lost his family because he kept going on with his grandkids, like do you know Earth is flat, and his kids, his children, weren't having none of it. So he kind of lost the family and got into that isolation.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. See, is how far do you take it? You know, is a belief in something that ridiculous worth losing your family over? I'm gonna just come straight out and say absolutely no, it isn't. But people like Frankie, I'm not saying he's happy that that's happened, but he doesn't seem, you know, willing to do anything to fix it.
Yeah, he's stuck in that cycle of well, it's not really a cult, but they do have a cult mentality.
Yeah,
and that I mean, once you are part of the flat Earth movement, right? And there's two things that will get you hate from the others. Success is one of them. If you are more successful than another flat earther, they will start coming after you.
Yeah.
Or if you try to get away from flat Earth, they will go after you as well. So it's they are stuck in that vicious cycle.
Yeah. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, isn't it? Yeah. They hate you if you're not involved, but if you are involved and you become successful, they hate you.
It's like an echo chamber where they also have Fight Club. It's really strange.
Yeah. So it's their way or the highway, and you know, how dare you do better than somebody who's established within that community? Because I don't know if you saw Simon Dan's 250k special earlier on today. I watched it and I left a comment, and it started a thread, and there was one guy on there, and it just completely baffled me. And I rarely reply to flat earthers, but I did in this instance because he was banging on that Dan's bought all his subs, and it's like, mate, he's got a bloody play button on the shelf behind him. What, you think YouTube don't make any checks before they send them out to make sure that somebody isn't using bots or artificially inflating their subscribers and views? But it just illustrates the desperation within that community, because if they can't find a real argument, they'll just make something up on the spot. You've only got 250,000 subscribers because you bought them.
Yeah. And well, you know, they think Google is part of the conspiracy. They think YouTube is part of the conspiracy. Yet they are on YouTube their message. So
I was going to say, even though they upload to YouTube themselves, YouTube is partly to blame for people like us.
It doesn't make any sense. Well,
perfect flat earth logic, Ragical. Perfect logic.
Yeah. Well, you know, logic. I don't think they understand the meaning of that word.
No, they definitely don't. They have as much difficulty with logic as they do with scale. But anyway, so a lot of people, obviously continuing with what we are to talk about, do you think people seem to think that people like you, me, Dan, Fight the Flat Earth, Team Skeptic, all the other guys that make these videos are making things worse because we are shining a spotlight on the Flat Earth conspiracy? Do you think that's right? Do you think that belief has got any sort of merit? Or
sorry?
Do you think that's got any merit?
Well, to be quite honest, these people are gonna do that thing anyway. So you might as well shine a spotlight on it and just either debunk it or just poke fun at it, or you know, it needs to be exposed for what it is. And the thing is, there's kind of three types of flat earthers as well. So you got your actual charlatans, which are usually the bigger ones, right? They have like a monetary gain from it. And they get really offended by us debunking their nonsense because it's their bread and butter. They take advantage of what I would like to call the victims of flat Earth. These people are followers of the bigger ones. That needs to be addressed. That needs to be exposed, and the only way to do that is to talk about it.
So victims of flat Earth would be anyone that watches flat Earth content but doesn't make it.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it's...
I dare say Pratt is a victim of flat Earth as well.
Yeah, but he's taken it to the next level and decided to start spouting his drivel on his own channel.
Yep. It feels like it's some kind of outlet for them, for their anger about the world being against them and them not understanding that we live on a big ball.
Yeah, yeah. And that just see this is I know maybe my opinion on it does differ from some of the other creators in our community, but I don't think I've come across anyone and they've struck me as being completely sincere in their belief. They always seem as if they've jumped on the flat earth bandwagon and seen other people, you know, experiencing a certain amount of success from talking about it, and they are trying to replicate that and you know, jump on the gravy train.
Which side we're talking about? The flat earthers, or?
Yeah, the flat earthers. You know, I'm not convinced that any of them are real. Well, I shouldn't say any of them. Maybe there's a very small proportion of people who genuinely are misinformed or, you know, into believing the earth is flat. But I've just got this little bit of hope deep down inside me that it's all just going to turn out to be a gigantic troll.
Well, it is. It started out. I mean, flat Earth has been debunked for millennia, right? And it suddenly started gaining traction on the internet because I think it was a 4chan post, which is kind of like a troll site, right?
Yeah.
And someone did some flat Earth stuff on there, and from there it started to spread, because if something is on trending on 4chan, it will. It's kind of like a even worse version than Reddit. So, you know. But if it starts gaining traction there, people will hook onto that and just you know, drive the bandwagon.
Because I know that the flat Earth idea was about years and years before the internet was even an idea. But so what we're saying is this is all the internet's fault, basically.
Well, let's be honest here. We have been increasing the amount of people who use the internet, and we have decreased the threshold to get into the internet, because anyone with a phone can simply press go live and start talking on the internet. It's really simple, and that also opens up people who actually shouldn't probably be on the internet because they're making a fool of themselves. It's
given everyone and their cat a platform, isn't it? So, you know, because I can remember, Jesus, back in the mid-90s, you know, the internet was in its infancy. I had no access to the internet, and I remember I was making a delivery to a local university, and I was talking to one of the guys there about the internet, and he said, it'll never take off. It's a complete waste of time. It's just, you know, there's a bit of science stuff on there and you can communicate with people, but I don't think it'll take off. And I'll never forget the conversation. How wrong was he?
Actually, I mean, the initial... Let's just talk about the initial part of the internet, what happened back then, when websites became a thing, right? So the initial idea behind website was, like, we need to give them an experience that is similar to actual stores. So they had like some kind of 3D games on their websites, and no, that's not what we want. We want simple lists we can click for products, and we can actually order stuff. So the misconception of what the internet should have been was was kind of spawned from ignorance. About what people do with it.
I suppose the internet is no exception to the rule, because everything just seems to evolve, and sometimes a thing will evolve into something that it was never intended to be. You know, I dare say that when, you know, the internet was invented, we'll say, to use a straightforward term, that I doubt that anyone had any idea just how much it would change the way we all live and interact with each other.
Yeah, the internet has not done good things and bad things, I guess.
Yeah, but you know, that could be applied to so many other things, couldn't it?
Well, let's just get... I see Marvel Girl is in the chat. Let's get a Marvel quote in here. One of the most famous Marvel quotes.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the internet is a very powerful entity.
It is, absolutely. So, are there any conspiracy theories that you've ever not necessarily believed in, but that you haven't instantly gone on, oh, that's a load of old shit? You know, is there anything that's actually made Ragical stop and think, ooh, bloody hell, this could maybe be a thing?
No.
No, same as me then.
It's really simple, no. And if there is something, I would actually first research it before I start spouting information that I don't have about it.
Yeah.
Because basically what conspiracy theories do.
Do you think the word conspiracy is too widely used, though?
Yeah, it has lost its power, right?
Yeah, it has, because, you know, to conspire just means to plot and plan with somebody, you know, and conspiracy has now become associated with everything negative. So, like you say, maybe it has lost some of its firepower.
The thing about the word conspiracy is that it used to mean something about governments hiding stuff.
Yeah.
And governments do hide stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But to call it a conspiracy that they are controlling the people through the Illuminati, because Illuminati member, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know, I'm fully paid up. You know, I've got the ring and everything. I haven't got it on now, but you know, I'm fully invested.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to me that website actually.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely insane, because when I had the idea to make that video, I honestly thought, no, there's no way there's going to be an Illuminati website, but there's about bloody 50 of them.
Yeah.
So I just picked the first one that came up in Google and joined that one, because it was free. Some of them you've got to pay. Who the hell would pay to be a member of a secret society that is such a badly guarded secret? Everybody knows about it.
Well, I was gonna say Mensa girl or Red, but Mensa is not really a secret organization. It's
no, it's
I mean, oh boy,
it's more of an exclusive club, isn't it? And interestingly enough, seeing as you've brought it up, and I'm fairly sure that she hates me just as equally as every other person in our community, somebody sent me an email the other day who is an actual member of Mensa, and he showed me his credentials, and she's not. Because if you are a member of Mensa, there's a registry that you can look and see every single member of Mensa, because they're regional, aren't they? So she Canadian, I believe, Orphan Red isn't she?
Yeah, she's Canadian. We can blame Rainy Beaver and Canadian Thomas.
Well, they've been getting blamed for Bryan Adams for years, so I don't suppose blaming them for Orphan Red would be anything out of the ordinary. But apparently, she is not a member of Mensa. It's all fake.
Yeah.
But again, that's only based off the word of somebody else. I have no way to confirm it or back it up. But it seems legit to me.
I actually think she's a troll.
Yeah. See, I've been told by a couple of people, and one guy, I wish I didn't have such a shit memory and I could remember people's names, but maybe in some cases it's better that I don't. But somebody told me that she's an actress, a working actress, and that Orphan Red, she specifically sat down and created that character with the sole purpose of being a flat earther and creating an income for herself on YouTube. So again, I don't know if that's right or wrong, or if it's just somebody's opinion, but she certainly doesn't seem stupid, does she?
Yeah, that's the thing about recognizing certain pose, as we tend to call them, right? The fake flat earthers or the fake conspiracy theorists. They have a language which usually is not present in an actual flat earther. They use words, they do use sentence structures that, well, I mean, grammar isn't their greatest thing. We do have space, comma, right?
Yeah. That's a thing.
Or speak fluently. It's they speak the English better than me, and that's kind of
and me allegedly. I never forget the comment where somebody said I speak English quite well.
for a non-English.
Yeah, you cheeky get. That's the only language I can speak, and I'm not brilliant at that.
What?
I think that's what's known as a backhanded compliment.
Who do you need me to take out? I've got at the ready.
You'll have to redirect the cannon.
Well, it's self-orientating, so if it finds a target, it will.
Right, fair enough. So, if you could switch lives with somebody just for the day, who would it be? And you can't choose Sir Sick just because he's got more subscribers than you.
Armored Skeptic, then.
Damn, I didn't think of him. I forgot about him. Is there anyone that you sort of admire and you think I wouldn't mind spending a day in their shoes just to see what they're all about?
Let's see. For fuck's sake, no, I need to find the name of the guy. I only know his... Let's see here. Yeah, so, this is one of the men on the planet who is very, very charismatic and has an extremely positive view of life.
It's me, isn't it? You want to switch lives with me, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Damn, I've given it away now.
I do have a I Love Creaky there.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
I only put that on after I spoke to you earlier on.
I am not responsible for what is put on my armor. I'm
such a child. But look, you're in a perfectly cozy podcasting studio. You've got a lovely mic, a hat to keep your armor warm, and an I Love Creaky badge. What more could you ask for?
It's amazing right there.
I know.
To answer your question, I would have to go with Jeff Goldblum. That man is oozing positivity.
Yeah.
It's just like I want to live in his mind for a day. It's like what goes on in there?
Yeah, because I often wonder what it's like to be somebody else, and with me, somebody like, I don't know, I'll say Bill Gates because he's the first rich person I think of. But they say money doesn't buy you happiness. Just spend a day as somebody like that
and see what happens.
And see what does it not? Are they right? Because I'm sure there's a lot of very wealthy people that still suffer from, feeling shit. They don't feel brilliant today, and it doesn't matter whether they've got £5 or 500 million pound in the bank. If you feel shit, you're still gonna feel like crap. Do you know what I mean? And I think it would be nice just to experience that just for 24 hours, and then you can maybe make yourself feel better. And I think, well, actually, they were right. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does buy a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you do have money, you don't have to worry about certain things. So it kind of lowers the stress levels, perhaps.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Then you are also the CEO of a very large company, so you have a lot of, responsibilities as well. So it's kind of a trade-off. You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole millionaires and billionaires of the planet, they don't have any time.
No, exactly.
That's millionaires and billionaires.
Exactly. Time is the most valuable commodity they have, and it's the commodity that they have the least of.
Yeah. Oh, I saw another one in the chat, by the way. Elon Musk. I want a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah. He would be another person who would be very, very interesting to step into his shoes just for 24 hours because, I don't think that we truly appreciate just what goes into gaining the level of success that people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and the other millionaires and billionaires of the world have got. I think we underestimate just how much work it takes.
Oh, definitely. That's what we underestimate. That's why we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, what does Ragical do when he's not making videos then?
Game design.
Yeah.
Usually.
Because that's your job, isn't it? That's what you do professionally.
I started doing that around 2 years ago, and I used to have a lot of things to do with other companies as well, mostly Online World Entertainment, which who are responsible for Subnautica and Natural Selection.
Yeah.
So that company started up in 2003, and I think I've been present in their community since that time, and helped out with a lot of play testing and even fixing stuff for their games.
Yeah.
And Subnautica, I think I can feel responsible for not having whirlpools in that game because I hate whirlpools.
Yeah.
So they did.
so that you work quite strange hours, don't you? Because you work remotely with people across the globe.
Yeah, it's I don't have time zones.
Yeah,
that's kind of the. There are no time zones.
Which is why I will quite often wake up and find a message from you at 4 a.m. and
that's usually when I go to sleep. It's I mean, I also work on my own game, which is still PA, but I can talk a bit about it. It's like a randomly generated space shooter from top down, so it's a 2D space shooter with really spiffy looking graphics in the background.
Yeah.
But my playtesters are mostly from America, with a few from I think there's someone from Australia. So you can imagine my time zones are all over the place.
Yeah. So why, as a game designer, then why don't I like games anymore? Am I too old, Ragical?
Well, you're never too old to game. I mean, I've seen some people in their 60s just picking up games from just now. So last year I saw someone that was 68, I think, and he's now playing a lot of the World War II shooters because he likes that stuff.
I think I know what it is with me. I think as I've got older, I've not got the patience anymore, because I'm horrifically competitive, like childishly, dangerously competitive, and I cannot bear to lose even a game. So even if I'm playing, and I do try from time to time, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna play this game, I usually last 10 minutes before I throw my phone or kick my PC or turn all the power off in the house because I'm not winning.
I just get this image in my head now from one of the memes, like from the early internet or the early YouTube. Every German kid, he just wants to play Unreal Tournament, and in the end, his keyboard broken, his monitor's broken, and he's just screaming. That's not just play acting, by the way.
That's pretty much me when I try the game, which is why I rarely do. But I just thought I was too old and wrinkly to enjoy it anymore.
You might even break your phone in half if you play Candy Crush, I'm guessing. I just don't have the patience for it anymore. I must be just getting old and grumpy. Well, you're missing out, because there are a lot of games that have a really amazing storylines as well. It's like an interactive movie you play. So single-player games are probably something you might want to try someday, because there are amazing stories out there. Just stay away from competitive multiplayer games, because I fear for your monitor, computer, desk.
I downloaded Call of Duty onto my phone, and it's stupid and childish. Everyone just kills me within, I don't think I've ever shot my gun more than once before getting killed.
Well, let me just say one thing about that. You do not play first-person shooters on a phone.
Yeah, maybe that's got something to do with it. I'll have to experiment, because my son reliably informs me that my PC is more than adequate to run games. So maybe I'll experiment one day.
You got a 1060 in there, right? Or 1080 Ti even?
Yeah, one of the two. I can't bloody remember, mate. Ask Robert Legia, he sent it to me. I really can't remember.
It's quite as powerful as my dual video card setup, so
Yeah,
should be more powerful.
It'll do the job, apparently.
Yeah,
apparently. Maybe I'll experiment one day. Anyway, so I've been very lucky that I've had people like Robert Legia, who I just mentioned, and the Turtle Moves, and a few other people, and they've sent things to me. Some things very gratefully received, some weird stuff, all sorts. So has anybody sort of... Well, the phrasing of the question is, what's the weirdest thing a fan or subscriber has ever done for you, to you, or asked you?
I can't really answer the question about weird stuff, but I have some funny stuff, like people sending fan art.
Yeah.
So one of my Discord members, Osvaldo Grego, he made a drawing of Ragical sitting on a facepalm projectile.
Actually, he did I'm not very good at pointing the wrong direction. The picture up on the shelf just behind me there, and that was the very first thing actually that anyone ever did and sent to me. So it is nice to get things, but you know, when I say done to you, obviously that's taking it to the extreme. But I get a lot of messages, and I can, in a lot of the time, not really establish whether the messages are coming from a good or a bad place. So I don't know if that's on me, or if I just get messages of some strange people, because I do seem to get a lot now.
Yeah, well, you are what? Let's see, 18K. You managed to go well past 18K right now. So
18.2, I think I'm on.
The more strange that, you know, it's a percentage thing. So the percentage will go up as well.
yeah, it probably will. It probably will. But I shouldn't complain about it, because, you know, it's I suppose we should be grateful that you know, the position we find ourselves in, you know, allows people the opportunity to want to reach out to us and send us these things. And I, like, for example, and I don't know who it was, and this drives me absolutely insane, but I had a 2 meter by 1 meter green screen turn up yesterday. Somebody has bought it for me off my Amazon wish list, and I have absolutely no clue who sent it to me. But thank you if you happen to be in the side chat now, because I really don't know who it is. Because bizarrely, Amazon, somebody told me that they make you pay if you want to put a note in to identify yourself. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I suppose maybe some people, the pleasure for them is just the act of giving, and they don't need or want any recognition. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, there's plenty of people in our community who just do anonymous donations as well. And
absolutely. And, you know, I count myself as very lucky that, you know, people are kind enough to perform these random acts that benefit us as creators.
Yeah, the thing is, the only things that actually happened around me is like people sending me images they draw. I mean, Gorgon Upset did it as well. That he made a terror bird with Ragical riding the terror bird.
Yeah.
I had someone who actually contacted me on Facebook. I do have a Facebook page. I don't do much with it, but she asked me to make something and for someone's birthday. So, you know, and I basically made that and got a picture back about all the stuff he got for his birthday, and I seemed pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
It's seeing that people actually want, you know, it's a fan base thing. I never knew I would get fans, you know. It's kind of a strange feeling.
Yeah, because that's what I struggle with as well. I find it difficult to comprehend that there are people who want to support us. You know, I know obviously I'm speaking for myself, but, you know, when, you know, every time somebody becomes a Patreon or a channel member, it's absolutely awesome. And it's, you know, just the fact that, you know, and the way I look at it is, like, for example, this rather swanky microphone that I use was bought for me by the Turtle Moves, and it wasn't a cheap microphone. And, you know, just the fact that somebody enjoys what I do enough to be prepared to spend that amount of money so that my sound may or may not be a little bit better just baffles me. And, you know, it's an amazing feeling when it does happen.
Yeah, it's a really amazing feeling, and it's kind of the only thing that annoys me about not about the people who actually join the membership, but the membership and the Patreons. They are handled differently by YouTube, and I understand the reason for that, because the memberships get, you know, green names and there's icons, and you can't really do that for the Patreons.
No.
So you have to do some manual stuff, like you know, sending them videos in advance before you go live, that kind of thing. And you know, I really need to start doing that again, because I actually run out of time to actually upload the videos. Because now I'm uploading a video for this evening.
Every part of what we do, though, is so bloody time consuming. It's you know, it just all takes a massive amount of work. And as I've said in previous streams, you know, I'm not sure that, and I don't necessarily mean people that may be watching this now, but, you know, there's a lot of people that have absolutely no idea just how much work goes into creating a couple of videos every week. You know, it's not something that gets thrown together in 5 minutes.
Preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, exactly. This is, you know, this is what I say. Present company, you know, knows exactly what I'm talking about. But you know, I've been speaking to people, you know, in real life, and they say, "Oh, you just upload a video and you can earn money from that." It's like, well, kind of, yeah, but you know, it does take me between sort of 12 and 16 hours to make each video, and I do 2 a week, plus a 2-3 hour live stream every week, and then the rest of the time I'm fiddling around with things in the background, or I'm researching topics, or trying to find videos, or responding to comments. But nobody who's outside what we do would really see that as work, I suppose. But like, for example, this morning I got up at 5:30, and between 5:30 and 7:30 I was just answering comments for the entire 2 hours.
Yeah,
you know, so that's 2 hours of work there, whichever way you look at it.
That's something people do appreciate, though. But even at my level at the moment, at 3,500 subs, I do get a lot of comments. I can only imagine how many comments you get. So it's like exponentially. The bigger YouTube. Imagine how many comments that Simon Dan actually gets in his box. That little bell. What is the number of that every day?
Yeah, because I'm getting to the point now where I'm probably gonna have to consider turning off notifications on my phone, because my phone is literally lighting up every 10 to 15 seconds. Because obviously people don't just comment on the current video, do they? They comment on, you know, if somebody stumbles across one of your videos, it could be a video from 7 or 8 months ago, but they'll still comment. And you know, it's getting to the point now where it's almost continuously going off, and you know, it's becoming more difficult to keep up.
It also is a bit addictive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I can't not look. If I see my phone light up and it's a YouTube notification, I have to look.
You gotta get the phone, and then you gotta get the look on at what goes on there.
I can't not do it. I can't not do it. And I think maybe if I turned the notifications off on the YouTube app, and then just said, right, because I'm up early every day, when I get up in the morning, I'll spend at least an hour looking at comments. Excuse me, and try and sort of manage my I don't know, channel admin time a bit more efficiently. But it is what it is. It's a nice position to be in, but it's getting more and more difficult to keep up with. So anyway, back to Ragical's videos. We all make videos in our own way and with our own style. So what's your creative process like? You know, so you find a video about Daniel Pratt. What do you do from there?
Well, usually there's kind of two things I do. So the first thing is, when I find a video I kind of find interesting, I just click through it a little bit. Can I make a little joke here? Can I make a little joke there? And then I just throw it in my video editor and play it and just respond to what I see. That's kind of the first thing. However, my favorite flat earther, Del.
Yeah.
He is usually part of like what Conspiracy Cats does as well. Like, he's part of my dungeon crew, right? He's like the supreme flat earther in my dungeon. So he usually has something to say. And on Spirit Science, I had him in there as well. And what I do with that, the man only streams, right? That's kind of the most simple version of YouTube content creation. You just stream for a bit and then just throw it online. What we do is actually editing. Is take videos and we improve them. But with Del, it's really easy to get some content from him because he screams, and when he screams, the audio levels go up. And I just click there and I'm like, oh, hey, that's a nice little bit. Let's see that. So, you know, he's kind of a co-host like Conspiracy Cats do. So.
I'll be honest with you, that's part of the reason why I've never made a video about Del, because he doesn't put out any short form content. It's always an hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be. I just can't be asked to watch through that much drivel.
Oh, I don't either.
Just to make a 10, 15-minute video.
Don't worry about my sanity, Creaky.
Yeah, it's just...
I just click to the interesting part of the yells.
Because I get videos sent to me all the time, and the first thing I look at is the length of the video, and generally, if it's like my absolute maximum is a 30-minute video, and if it's longer than 30 minutes, most of the time, unless somebody emails me and says, look at this video, but watch from minute 12 to minute 28, then I'll have a look. But I'm just way too lazy to go through a 2-hour live stream just to snip out little bits.
What's that, Del?
Any other, nuggets of wisdom? No, nothing. That's what I thought.
So you've created a Dell soundboard then for your own amusement?
No.
That one is classic. That one is it's in the chat as well, so I had to do it.
Yeah. Now, the next question, which I'm glad I looked over before reading aloud, is have you ever been recognised in public? But I think in your case, we'll just move on to the next one.
Well, no, I'm a very recognizable fella.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many people walking around in a suit of armor with horns on it, so
No.
Yeah, push people away because everyone wants an autograph.
Yeah.
I drive a Duff, man.
But I suppose you can only go out when the weather's fine, because rain and highly polished armor isn't a good combination, is it?
I get squeaky.
WD-40, that's what you need. an all over spray, and you'll be right.
True.
So, have any of the topics or the person in the video that you've used, have any of them ever made you sort of cross or angry, really upset you?
Well, let's see. There's one that actually made me a bit... someone actually asked me in the video as well, did you just get pissed at that moment? Yes, yeah. I did. Because there's a lady that tells people to watch, to look into the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Damage their eyes. And they say you get energized from that. No. You get blind from that.
I was just going to say, yeah, you won't get energized, you'll get blind.
Yeah, so that
don't do that, kids.
I got a bit angry during that video. And I think there's another one where someone is taking advantage of certain people. And, we gotta address Nathan Thompson. That man just pisses me off. The way, what he does on the street, and harassing children.
Yeah, he's just got one of those faces, isn't he?
Also, he has one of those faces. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. And what allow me to elaborate slightly. He's got one of those faces that you'd be afraid to punch in case you couldn't stop yourself once you'd started.
I think he just. I think he would pull a Joker effect on us, like when Batman starts punching the Joker from The Dark Knight Rises, right?
Yeah.
He starts laughing, and that's kind of the idea I have about that guy. He's a really, really strange and
unhinged.
He's also unhinged, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anybody in particular you'd like to collaborate with?
Oh, I'd like to collaborate with my favorite Welshman. I don't know what his name is. I think he's around here somewhere.
Yeah, we've never actually done a proper collaboration, have we, bizarrely? We've done a number of live streams together, but we've never actually done a collaboration video. We'll have to make that happen.
Yeah, it's not entirely true, though. I mean, I did steal your hat one day. That's why.
Yeah. And you've cameoed in a few of my videos, and I've sort of cameoed in a few of yours, but we've never actually sort of done a full collaboration video, so we'll have to make that a project for the not too distant future.
Yeah, the thing about collaborations is, I mean, we do have our own videos, and I know how much work goes into those videos. The biggest problem is time, because
exactly.
I a lot of people who do. I mean, I'm gonna do a collaboration with Brainy Beaver as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a video for him. He's gonna do a video for me. But that's also kind of time consuming. And when someone asks me, and I have to say, yeah, I don't have the time because YouTube is not my only thing. I also have other stuff.
Yeah.
A combination trying to get time.
Yeah, real life
time.
does tend to get in the way of doing this, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. That's the thing. I used to do a lot of when I was a tiny YouTuber. Well, I'm still a tiny YouTuber. But when I was a tinier YouTuber, I used to do collaborations a lot more because it was a lot of fun. And I didn't release all that much videos per week. And right now I'm up to well, I dare say I'm up to 2 per week, but that's not true.
Yeah,
I goes down to 1 per week, or it's really the time issue.
Do you know what it is with me as well? Like I always try to make sure that at minimum my Tuesday video goes up and my Friday video goes up, and if I can do anything extra, then brilliant. It's a bonus. But I'm always I'm kind of afraid not to put a video up just in case people get upset. Do you know what I mean? It's like I feel obliged to upload on a Tuesday and a Friday. I feel like people have taken the time to subscribe to me. I've got channel members, I've got Patreon supporters, so at the very least I must upload 2 videos a week.
Yeah, that's actually it is kind of amusing right now because I don't know if you have heard of this on the Twitters. I don't know how long you do things on the Twitters. You just post videos on there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I look at Twitter, but I tend not to sort of join in anything much on there.
I came across something on the Twitters, right? And that is also something that annoys me about certain people on our side, right? The debunking community, the commentary channels. We have this need to get our message out and to take a video apart. But now something has happened on Twitter. So there's Twitch, right? That's another platform where people actually stream. So there's this their lady on there, and I'm doing actually a video on this woman right now. It's uploaded right now. Awesome. So she is a e-bagger, right? She gets angry when people don't subscribe, or subscribing on Twitch is basically the memberships on YouTube.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I added her to my list today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did a video on her, and the reason is because I have a dialogue in the initial part of the video where I go on about that there is also a lady called Lottie Blix.
Yeah.
And she's getting harassed right now because her name is in the video, and there's a thing like title divers, right? People go in, they see a title, and they just jump in, but they completely missed the message here because the lady on screen is Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
that's not Lottie Blix.
But the thing is with her, I don't, looking at her, what is she? Very early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain, and I noticed this myself in many different ways. A lot of people of her generation seem to have this air of entitlement about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? The way I've watched that video, I've seen a couple of other creators have already made videos about her, but she can't understand, what was it she said, something along the lines of, if you've got time to watch my videos, the very least you could do is become what was it Patreon she was talking about, or channel? I can't remember exactly what she was talking about, but the thing is, YouTube and Twitch, the reason they're so successful is because you can consume as much content as you want, as often as you want, completely free of charge.
Yeah.
Nobody is obliged to pay for any of this at all.
Of the opposite spectrum right there. She wants money for now. I won't actually bash. Well, I did bash it a bit in the video because it's the usual Ragical thing I do.
Yeah.
What she does is she says she's a content creator.
Yeah.
In fact, she's a reaction channel.
Yeah.
Remember those? They're still on YouTube and extremely popular. I have no idea.
Yeah, because I've seen videos about some reaction channels, and they I suppose they do a diluted version of what we do, so they make similar content to us, but without any of the effort. They just green screen themselves into the bottom corner and film themselves watching something, and then periodically pause it and say, that was funny. Click play again. And there's no substance to the videos, as far as I can tell anyway, but, you know, I'm old, what do I know?
Well, I can understand that. I mean, I've heard people talk about what the allure is for reaction channels. It's like people who are, I guess, lonely. They don't have someone to watch with, and that's the idea. And she took it to the next level. But, you know, there's also gaming videos, right?
Yeah.
Where people actually engage with the audience and, you know, act out certain things in video games. I tend to enjoy those from certain people who are, well, I just I like their commentary.
Yeah.
And it's just if I don't have that game, for instance, if it is on a platform I don't have, like PlayStation 4, for instance, I can just watch them play it.
Yeah.
And they actually make content that is actual content. But reaction channels just stream other people's content to their channel and just sit there and looking at it. And I'm like, that's content.
Yeah, because I know I've heard some people say that people like you and I, it's not really our own content. We're not putting in any effort, but we are, because what we do is it's transformative. We are taking what somebody else has said, and in this case, flat Earth, and we're dissecting it and pointing out the lunacy behind it. So to say there's no effort or substance in our style of content, I think is hugely unfair. Because was it Alfie Days? I don't know if you're familiar with Alfie Days, but he interviewed Susan Wojcicki, is it, the CEO of YouTube, and told her that all commentary channels should be demonetized and preferably thrown off the platform altogether, because they're just all spiteful trolls who aren't talented enough to make their own content.
So we should shut down news channels as well.
Yeah. And, you know, he obviously didn't put much thought into that statement, because isn't that pretty much what PewDiePie does? Him and his 107 million subscribers.
Yeah, watch out, PewDiePie. Creaky is coming for.
Exactly. He's on a break. He's taken his eye off the ball. By the time he comes back, I will have overtaken him.
Exactly. So has his origins at gaming videos and let's plays, and you know, playing a video and having commentary. There's kind of another thing I just recently encountered. Really strange that I just recently encountered it. So it's videos where game developers, speedrunners, breaking their game, right? Because they play the game, which has content for about 9-8 hours, maybe 48 hours, depending on how big the game is. And they play the game within half an hour, 2 hours. You know, you just sit there and like, wait, how the hell did he do that? That's amusing to see.
The thing is, I really do believe that there's an audience on YouTube for literally anything you can possibly think of to upload. If you can get the right eyes on your video, regardless of what it is, you know, you could start a channel where all you do is knit socks. You can bet your bollocks there'll be somebody looking for videos showing you how to knit socks.
Well, I'll tell you right now, there are. I just did a search.
There we are. I rest my case, because I know that you watch Brian G. Johnson and Daryl Eves, don't you?
They have a lot of insight, but everything they have taught me, it's not working.
No, I know. There's a channel basically dedicated to Mexican cooking, and it's run by a lady who is, I think they said she was 71 years old, and she is absolutely killing it. She is picking up subscribers like her life depends on it, and she's already had her first 2 play buttons. So what's that? That's 100k and 1 million, isn't it?
Yeah, you get your silver one, and then you get your gold one, right?
Yeah. So and her channel's like 6 months old.
Yeah. She got the viral thing going.
Yeah.
He to talk about viral thing, we got one of our own who has done that. He made that from around 2,000 subs to 250k, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and it's all just to a certain degree there is an element of luck involved, I know, but you know, it's all stems back to that there's an audience for anything you care to upload.
Yeah, that's the you in YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Content creation of anything you want. I mean, there's even really, really silly stuff on there I wouldn't watch. And I have seen, so technically I did watch it, right? But it's like, what the hell am I doing here? Where am I? The dark side of YouTube.
Yeah, somebody just put in the side chat now, Mr. Dax, ASMR and mukbang. Now, I've made a video about ASMR a long, long time ago. It was one of my very early videos, and I don't know what to say really. I don't kind of. I just find it uncomfortable.
It's yeah, I don't know. I said it during our weekly chats we have in the Discord on Marvel Girls channel and my channel, Discord channels. There was something about the barber shop. That was the first one where you have 3D positioning audio system. Like they have microphone set up which represent. I like that kind of stuff, but not.
Yeah. I know the funny thing is, as strange as I find ASMR, I don't know if you're aware of this. You probably are, being a computer whiz, but if you put youtube.com/subscribers into the address bar, it takes you to your subscriber list. And you can sort by which of your subscribers have the most subscribers. And mine is an ASMR channel.
Really?
Yeah, it's truly bizarre. Truly, but I never see him comment or anything. But I know that not everyone does. But I just find ASMR really bizarre, and mukbang is not far behind. There's so many people enjoying watching other people ramming ridiculous amounts of food down their throats, and I don't see what they get out of it. No, I like watching the odd cookery video. Yeah, you know, how to cook the perfect steak or whatever, but to watch somebody shoveling seafood down their chops isn't my idea of quality content. But clearly I'm wrong, because a lot of them have got millions of subscribers.
Let's see. I just had a look. Sir Sick is the number 3 on my subscriber list with his 40k.
Oh, is he?
He made a penis joke on my first video.
Oh, did he?
A penis joke.
Right. I'm just going to very quickly, because somebody kindly pointed it out in the side chat. I'm just going to quickly address the super chats that have come in so far. So we've had $5 US from Andrew Stroll. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you out of misery. Yeah, I suppose. But then, does it buy you out of the misery you're in being poor, and then introduce you to a completely different type of misery? Who's to say? Ralph Morek, €5, and he said random act. So I assume that was when I was talking about random acts of kindness. And then Olek. I've never seen that. What's PLN, Ragical? 25 PLN. Don't even know what.
It sounds like something Polish, but they have the euro, right?
Yeah, I thought they had the euro as well. I don't know. Anyway, it's either going to be about 75 pence or I'm now a millionaire. We'll find out after the stream. And he says he likes flat earthers. Thanks to them, he can watch me, Simon, Dan fight the flat earth and others.
Oh, it is the Polish zloty.
Ah, right.
Okay. Learned something today.
Exactly. That's the whole thing about doing what we do. Do you find that you know things now that you didn't know prior to doing what you do on YouTube? Yeah,
the funny thing about that is, we had that guy come and go, and he was constantly going on about his what do you call them, the compasses, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I learned that compasses are different in the southern hemisphere. They have weight on the sides, so they compensate for the actual.
Yeah. I learned that as well. There's a compass that works in the northern hemisphere and a compass that works in the southern hemisphere, isn't there?
Yeah, that's and I had to figure that out for that video I did on it. But the thing is, we actually try to figure stuff out, even if we don't know it. We admit it, and then we try to learn about it. But these conspiracy people are just trying to run away from the truth when they are about the truth. Which is, by the way.
And that's the thing, see, and I've said this in tons of videos. It's a lot of the stuff that they talk about and we then either laugh at or in some cases debunk. It's so easy to find this information.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet, so they are finding it as well. They are just choosing to sort of ignore it or just call bullshit on it. So really, there's no excuse for that level of ignorance anymore, is there? With all the research tools we've got available to us 24/7, because everyone and their nan has got a smartphone, so you can easily find this stuff out. But it's then what you do with that information, isn't it?
The thing is, what I always say is, you have all this information of the entire human race at the tips of your fingers, and what do we do with it? We post cat videos.
Yeah.
We are the human race is doomed.
Yeah, it's truly bizarre. It's truly bizarre. So I personally don't like having to. If somebody asks me, oh, you've got a YouTube channel, have you? What do you do? I just find it awkward and a bit cringy to explain. So do any of your friends or anyone that knows you know you're a creator on YouTube? And if they do, how do you explain it to them?
Well, family and friends do. It's kind of that weird. You're kind of disconnected from people on the internet, right? But in real life, you are not too disconnected from the internet. And I do have people who know about it, and also know that I am Ragical The Unhallowed Knight. Because I drive around in my DAF, I'm very recognizable. But I don't really have a DAF, by the way.
Does anybody anymore?
Well, there are actually DAF enthusiast clubs. So
I dare say there are.
Kind of reliant in Great Britain.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, they do know about it. Not many of them watch it because, well, if you were to go up to a normal person on the street, like Dell does, right, and all the other street proselytizers for Flat Earth, and you tell them, I debunk Flat Earth, you just get a weird look. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Because what I found when I've said to people, so they'll say, what is it you do on YouTube then? I say, I make videos talking about people that believe in flat earth. And they will then almost always say, you think the earth is flat? And it's like, no, I don't think the earth is flat. Far from it, but there are a lot of people online that do think the earth is flat, and I make fun of them.
That's that still gives them weird looks.
Yeah, it does, because it's such a...
Why is that a thing? That's kind of...
They're almost in disbelief.
Yep. Oh, you got another super chat. That's actually a good one.
Another super chat from 0132 I know multiple millionaires. I can safely say that money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy stability, which makes it much easier to do things that make you happy. Yeah, that basically goes back to what you said earlier, Ragical, doesn't it? It takes the
stress from getting money.
It gives you financial freedom, doesn't it? You're free to choose to do this, that, or the other, to buy this or to go there without having to worry about what it's going to cost. But then, as he said, it doesn't buy you happiness. So, it just catapults you into another form of misery, I suppose.
Well, it depends on what you do. If you just, for people who, for instance, win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
And they get into that situation where they have lots of money and they start buying big houses and big cars, expensive cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can buy a big car.
You can buy big cars.
Right? Big Dodge. But the thing about that is, if you don't have the income, that money is gonna go away sooner or later, and then you can't support the stuff you have bought. So that's a trap. I would call it a beginner's trap for millionaires.
Yeah, because it used to be 20, 25 years ago that if you won £1 million, then you were set for life. But even though £1 million it's a lot of money, somebody of even my age group, and I know you were younger than me, Ragical. I can tell by how shiny your armor is, but
exactly.
I don't think £1 million would last you, and would outlast you then.
I would probably waste it all on turtle wax.
Probably.
You gotta be.
It's £1 million isn't enough to retire on if you're in your 30s or 40s. I don't think anyway.
No, if you do the calculations of what people actually earn during their entire lifetime and then just have to go on for another 20, 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a bit more there.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, £1 million is £1 million, but it's not, it's not going to afford you the luxury of being able to sit at home and watch Netflix all day and never have to lift a finger to try and earn money anymore.
Well, unless you live very minimalistic, but that's not what a millionaire does, right?
Exactly. I was going to say that kind of defeats the purpose of being a millionaire, then, or doesn't it? Most millionaires live to excess, don't they? Somebody who's a millionaire or a multi-millionaire isn't going to go and buy a Renault Scenic. They're going to go and buy a Rolls Royce, and they're not going to buy a house for £150,000. They're going to buy a house for £1.5 million, for example. So it's all relative, I suppose, isn't it? The more you've got, the more you'll spend.
Yeah, but what I just mentioned, that if you win that kind of money, you don't automatically have that income.
Yeah.
You have money, and if you start spending like a millionaire, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That a lot of people actually get into, and then they have a lot of debt after, it needs to be paid off. Well.
Because there's, Justin Tipper has just said in the side chat, couldn't you live off the interest of £1 million? Yes, you could, theoretically. But again, as Ragical just said, it would depend on how you live.
Mm-hmm.
£1 million does earn a lot of interest, but I don't know the specifics, but I don't know if the interest off £1 million would replace, a reasonably well-paying job.
I'm pretty sure the current interest rates aren't that high anyway. You have to invest it, I guess. And that's not something we normal folk know how to do anyway.
No, God, no. No, hell no. I wouldn't know what to do. I know exactly what I'd do. I'd probably buy a house, a nicer house, buy a really nice car or 10, and then think, damn, I forgot. I've got at least another 30 years left in me. What am I going to do now? Shit.
You eat your car.
Exactly. Yeah, end up living in it. Yeah, I've got a Rolls Royce. I just live in the back. It's huge. It's all the space I need.
With your Aston Martin.
Yeah. Because I've got an acquaintance who he's a millionaire. He's a very wealthy man, and he's earned all his money online. But he's very cagey about how. But he's got a Lamborghini, and I was speaking to him about the car before, and he said what a lot of people don't realize is you can buy a used Lamborghini for, we'll say, 200k, but it costs thousands of pounds a year just to keep it on the road. So unless you can afford to run it, don't buy it.
That sounds like exactly what I just said. But if you don't have the money,
yeah, exactly.
The money coming in needs to be less than more than the money going out.
Yeah, exactly.
Buying extremely expensive stuff, you're gonna be a millionaire in a box.
Yeah, exactly. So if you win the lottery, dash out and buy a Lamborghini and then find out that it goes through £300 in petrol every week and the tyres are £1,000 a pair. You know, how long's that £1,000,000 going to last you? Not that long, I would hazard a guess.
Well, Jeremy Clarkson says something along the lines that sports cars aren't actually very good cars. They're just fast.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not fast. They're constant maintenance on those things.
Yeah, exactly. When going back, I can't remember, maybe 4 years, it was my middle son, it was his end school leavers prom. And of course, when teenage boys and girls go to prom, they've got to go in a fancy car. And a friend of mine lent me his Audi R8, which is it was the V10. So basically, it's a Lamborghini with an Audi body on it. Why he lent it to me, I'll never know, but he did. So he said to me, yeah, you can borrow the car, but you'll have to do me a favor. I'm busy. I can't do it. It needs 2 tires. He said, I'll give you the money. Just go get the tires put on and then drop the car back to me tomorrow once you finish with it. So he gave me a cloth money bag and I didn't look in it. I drove away in his car. I went off to the tyre garage, pulled in there. Oh, yeah. He rang, said, you're on the way. Just have a seat there, help yourself to coffee. And I was looking through this bag and there was like, there was £1,000 in there. And I was like, gee, how much are these bloody tyres? And it was £1,000 for 2 front tyres. And apparently the back tyres were even more expensive.
Yeah, because they're thicker, of course. They're on that stuff.
Yeah, you know, it was a great experience, you know, being lent a supercar, but you know, I put fuel in it and I literally drove no more than 40 miles and I went through 40 quid's worth of fuel. It was absolute. I may have been a little bit generous with my right foot, admittedly.
Yeah, of course. You're gonna drive that kind of car.
Yeah. But when I was speaking to him about it, when I returned the car the next day, he was saying, yeah, it does. You know, if you push it, you're getting like 8-9 miles to the gallon. And I was like, yeah, I know, mate. I noticed that when the 40 quid I put in the tank didn't last me much. You know, I almost didn't get the car back to you without needing to put more fuel in it. It's absolute insanity. And it's just sort of give me some context, you know, as to how much it must cost just to own one of those cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, I say, the faster the car, the faster the...
Faster it empties your wallet.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you have those problems with the DAF, though, do you, Ragical?
Well, I keep posting one of those videos where it's actually a rally converted DAF, and it's driving like you know, rally cars do, right, with a lot of noise and slips, we're drifting through the corners.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is, I also have one of those pictures with Robert Leger. Yeah. And he's in the back of the car with his rifle, driving through the Netherlands. And we used to have those Porsches, right? The Porsche cars. They don't have them anymore. But the 911 was on our tail, and I found a video where the rally DAF is basically driving.
Yeah.
And there's a Porsche after him. Also driving. It's like a rally race. And then at some point, the 911 basically disappears. So you can basically assume that the DAF has won, because where the hell is the 911? It's gone.
Yeah. Right, side chat. Would anybody like to send Ragical any questions? Because it's 9 o'clock. I'm trying to keep these to no more than 2 hours, so we've got 30 minutes left. So if you would like to ask Sir Ragical The Unhallowed Knight any questions, obviously keep it relevant. Then fire away. Make sure you tag either myself or Ragical. You're in the side chat, Ragical, are you, obviously?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm in there.
So if you tag either myself or Ragical in the side chat, we will attempt to get an answer for your question. And while you're on the subject of Ragical as well, if you don't subscribe to him, you're missing out. So go and subscribe to him now. Let's try and get his subscriber numbers up as much as we possibly can, because that's part of the idea behind these conversations as well, is to try and illustrate that there are many people doing what we do.
Yeah, I've had some subscribers already. I have my OBS on, and it fires off of the usual fireworks.
The fireworks.
But yeah, it's kind of fun. I keep hearing it going in the background.
Yeah. So yeah, if anybody wants to ask Ragical anything, fire away. If not, then please your bloody selves, you miserable bunch.
I have a stalker.
Yeah.
It's called Christ Puncher.
Right.
But he always follows me. He likes my hat.
So while we're waiting for some questions to come in, and we sort of touched on this earlier on. If I said to you, give me an example of one flat earther that you think is absolutely 100% invested in this, and somebody that you think is 100% absolutely only doing this for the money, what two names spring to mind?
Del and Nathan Oakley.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say Del is one of those people who is actually a flat earther.
Mm-hmm.
He has not a monetized channel, and that's not English. He doesn't have a monetized channel. The thing about that is he gets really angry when people are talking about the flat earth and misrepresenting it in his own words.
Yeah.
All his experiments are being ignored, and he gets angry when he's not invited on streams anymore. And
yeah.
I've even seen videos about him going into a local BBC office, right?
Yeah.
It's a really funny story because he goes in with a story about, I have some news I want to share with you people.
Yeah.
And, the lady at the front desk is like, oh, hey, that's not a problem. I can call someone from the office upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. And then the conversation goes on about, not really about the flat earth, but about the conspiracies about flat earth. And he doesn't really want to address it, right? Now, the moment that person comes downstairs, he mentions flat earth, the conversation is almost over because he outside and about it, and then he starts complaining about that BBC is not interested in this and they're suppressing his information and it's all kind of stuff.
Yeah, but doesn't he stop to think that maybe that's because they just think that he's escaped from somewhere?
Well, he's a big lad.
Yeah.
He yells a lot.
Yeah, I would imagine that if you were to meet him in the street, he would be a fairly intimidating character.
Yeah. Well, he starts yelling, and if he does the same thing as he does in his shed, you just step a few steps back and like, okay, calm down, buddy. Calm down.
I would imagine he does, because he doesn't strike me as the most reasonable of men either.
No, he's very adamant at his brain farts. Let's just say. Let's see. And Nathan Oakley is obviously a Poe because he doesn't engage with anyone and he lives in his echo chamber to make money.
Isn't there an instance of somebody saying that they've got I can't remember, was it screenshots or audio recording of Nathan Oakley saying, as far as he's concerned, he doesn't care if the world is shaped like a dick, as long as people keep buying his merchandise and supporting his live streams, he doesn't really care.
There's also someone who has a screenshot about him telling Riley that he should stop investigating this certain thing he's going on about on his stream because he's about to prove that we live on a globe. So he's a glober. He's just faking this shit for money.
Yeah. And I suppose it's like a lot of the bigger channels like Globebusters and people of that caliber that they're so deeply invested in being a flat earther that they've passed the point of no return, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say Del Pratt, that guy has been gone. I was actually, I thought he was actually a real one, but apparently he left. But there's a few characters out there where you basically look at them and like, yeah, that's not a good lifestyle you have there. You're losing everyone you know.
Yeah. It's the thing is as well. Excuse me. If you look at somebody like Arwen, I think he's just and it's funny because they call us sheep, don't they? But he's just he's a follower, not a leader. So he sees people like Nathan Oakley and Anthony Riley and Del and the likes of that, and he's literally just jumped on the bandwagon because he just parrots everything that they all say, as the most flat earthers, though. In fairness.
If he found, for instance, crystal woo science, right? He would jump on bandwagon, but he wants to be part of something, and he's really emotional guy. I think he also has some mental issues as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of armchair psychology, but the way he reacts and the aggression he has, it's sometimes sad to watch. I haven't watched a lot of his videos or his stream because that's all he does.
Yeah. The thing is, it's, you know, the video I did last week with that young boy in it, that Dominic, I've forgotten his surname, but Dominic, the kid in the yellow sweatshirt, you know, I had a few people saying, oh no, you shouldn't be making a video about them. He seems to me as if he may be a bit autistic, or he's got some other you know, mental health issue. But, you know, is it our job to sort of analyze that beforehand? You know, if I came across something and they were blatantly, you know, unwell in you know, or didn't quite have all their faculties, then no, I wouldn't make a video. You know, like I've you know, there's certain well, the one that springs to mind is Flat Earth Jesus. I will never make a video about him again. One, because I know that he is ill. And two, because I don't think he has the mental capacity to be able to cope with challenges being thrown at him.
Yeah, the thing about that is I mostly don't go after the person. Yeah. And just keep in mind that if you do that, there's no problem. You're just exposing his ideas, and the person might be mentally unstable. But I do think about that when I do a video, but I basically have one rule. If they are too unhinged, I might not do a video about it. Yeah. So if they are underage, they won't be featured in my videos. Yeah. But Creaky, we do have a few questions already.
Okay, fire away then. Because I have been keeping an eye out, but obviously if they've been tagging you, not me, then...
yeah, they tagged you as well, a bit.
Have they? Maybe I should start paying attention a bit better then.
So Brainless Steel NL, you want to know which province I live in? Well, that's well known. It's called Groningen. That's a nuclear G right there. We can start words with that, Creaky.
Yeah. I thought you were clearing your throat then. I thought you were struck down with the same affliction as me.
Sounds like that sounds like what happened there.
Am I don't know. I say, am I right in thinking this? The only reason I think this is because my grandfather told me. But and he's dead, so he can't explain himself. That apart from Welsh, I know there's a group for this particular, but the Dutch, German is the only other sort of language or dialect that has got the sort of sound in some of the words. Is that right, or
well, I can say a lot of Middle Eastern countries also have that sound in their language a lot, but it's usually just the Northern European Northwestern European countries who have that mostly.
Yeah, I don't know.
From that big island right across the little pond.
Yeah.
The North Sea, I mean.
Now then. I'm glad Ivan James Hunt has asked this, because I was going to ask this. At what number of subscribers is Ragical going to do a Team Skeptic style face reveal? Will we ever see the real Ragical?
I'm not even interested in that kind of stuff. You can figure out who I am if you're clever enough.
Yeah, I'm obviously really stupid.
I'm just talking in general. It's not that hard to find out. So, I don't really, I found it fun to use for my Order of the Chilies video, which you are a part of as well, Creaky. So,
Mm-hmm.
But I need to actually pick up that series as well a bit more.
Yeah. So there's
I won't do face reveal, but if you want to know who I am.
So there's no plans to ever reveal your true identity then? You prefer to be anonymous?
Like, I do have all kinds of people in my certain lists on social medias who are not really interested in. And if I have the thing that I don't really get a lot of annoying and aggressive people on my channels, because most of the people that are commenting are, well, glad I make these videos. So.
So that's a no then.
No, not a specific review, but if you want to know.
Yeah, there we are. So that's that question answered. There we are. Do you want to go on with the questions you've been asked, Ragical?
Let's see. We got Ralph Murik. Know any Dutch flat earthers? Well, I do have 2 in my list. Q&V is one, and Jouke Elsinga. They're both in the dungeon. And Arwin is also a Dutch flat earther, or actually Arwijn, as he's called.
Wasn't there one that you made a video on before, and he just sounded as if he was on the verge of falling asleep at any second? Who was that?
Yeah, that's Jouke Elsinga.
Ah, right.
He's like a biblical flat earther. He used the Bible to presuppose that God created the flat Earth and that kind of stuff. Presuppositionalism.
Yeah, I remember your video about him because he just looked as if he couldn't be bothered.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't really do English very well, so it's kind of a problem on that level.
Yeah. I suppose it's if there's extra effort involved in just speaking a universally understood language, then I suppose your concentration is. There we are. I've got a question that's always puzzled me. It's probably a stupid question, but I'm a huge fan of stupid questions. So when you you can speak English as well as me, probably better.
So are you playing an accent?
Yeah, no, there's no accents on this channel at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited you if you'd had an accent, Ragical. So you should know better than that. So when you're speaking, is it speaking English to me and to your audience? Is it just second nature to you now, or do you have to, on occasion, think, right, damn, what's the word I need to use here that would replace what I would say in my own language?
Sometimes it does happen, but it's quite rare because I've been speaking English when I was a kid.
Right.
And I think I was around 7 years old when I started speaking English.
Yeah.
So it's kind of we used to have cartoons for telly, right?
Yeah.
And the cartoons used to be dubbed. Oh no, actually subbed. So you have the original language playing. Right now we are dubbing, and I come across a lot of 20-something people who just have trouble speaking English, and I'm like, yeah, that was bound to happen.
So was English a compulsory class when you were a child at school, or was it optional?
Or courses you need to take on in high school.
Yeah, because I know I was speaking to somebody in Spain when we were out there last year, and he said that the reason so many of us speak English so well is because we have to take English at school.
Yeah, that's exactly, and German is one of them as well.
Yeah.
And have the option to French as well, or another language.
Yeah. Just quickly, I'm a Penis wants to know what part of Brazil you're from.
The good part. Yeah. The ladies. The lovely ladies. There's also lovely ladies who like to dance.
Anyway, on with the questions. Have you got more, Ragical?
Let's see. What's your favorite dessert? I'm guessing a croquette.
A what?
I hear there's silence over here. What the hell is a croquette?
Yeah.
It's like a Dutch snack. It's actually called croquette. I love that stuff. That's amazing stuff. Just Google it if you want to know what it is.
I was just going to say, how are you spelling that?
It's Kroket. It is a Dutch delight.
Ooh, that looks nice. But everything looks nice when you're... Also, that's a savoury...
It's a fast food snack thing. But yeah, I do love those. Some good with mayonnaise. Well, actually, it's not mayonnaise. It's fry sauce. That's, I think, the best translation I can give you. It's a lot more savoury. It's a little more sweet than actual mayonnaise. It looks like mayonnaise, but it's not mayonnaise. We found our potatoes. What do you call them? The crisps. We drown that shit as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that conversation with Anti-Flatter. Crisps come in a little bag. Chips are potatoes cut up and deep fried.
Okay. Well,
everyone in the world is wrong. Us British people are right.
You also have fish and fish.
Fish and chips from the fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
No crisps involved, unless you ask for some of the crispy bits from the bottom of the pan, which is always a treat.
I have to say I'm not really a fan of that. I had that in London when I was there, but no, I'm not really a fan of that. I like my chips and fry sauce. That's and also McDonald's over there right now do sell the fry sauce as well. So it's kind of like, hey, the Dutch are here.
Yeah. So would that be something that's sort of typically Dutch? You know, is that like a sort of is that like a treat food, or is that something that you would sort of eat?
Oh, if I'm just in some kind of town and I walk past a snack bar, it's like, oh hey, let's get a croquette. I like a croquette.
So that would be like me buying a corned beef pasty. Does a Dutchman even know what a pasty is?
It sounds like a pastry.
Yeah. It's basically corned beef, onion, and mashed potato, wrapped up in pastry and then baked in the oven.
I see.
So yeah, I can't believe Dutch people haven't got pasties. You're missing out on so much. Cheese and onion pasties, corned beef pasties. You must have heard of a Cornish pasty, surely.
Oh yes, I know what these are. Yeah. I know what these are. We do.
Yeah.
These. Yeah, we do have these. Yeah.
Oh, you do. Because it's the Cornish pasty, I believe. I'll just spit out some more incorrect information because I seem really good at it. Was developed by the wives of coal miners, because obviously the conditions they were working in, they couldn't take a ham sandwich or yesterday's leftover dinner because it would get covered in coal dust. So the wife would make sort of a parcel, and one half of it would be whatever you had for dinner last night left over and baked into a pasty, and then they would fill it was actually 2/3 was the savoury and the last third would be your dessert, so it may be rice pudding or something along those lines wrapped up in the last bit. I'm full of useless information, everyone. What can I say? Well, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that clearly.
Yeah. We do learn stuff. That's kind of the funny thing about our channels.
Yeah, absolutely. There's things I know now that I would never in a million years have known or even had any reason to learn if it wasn't for doing what I do.
It's kind of the thing. One thing I heard in one of my comments is like, oh, it's like going back to school and learning stuff I kind of forgot but still know. But it's a refresher course of high school. It's, you know, flat earthers are way below high school. So yeah.
Oh, new subscriber.
Oh,
Tidy.
So nobody else has got anything
Some more.
they would like to ask? Our favourite night? Have you got more Ragical?
Zach Blog, that's some lead speech right there. He's got a 3 for an E and so you know. Where did you get the idea for your armor? Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. I actually don't really know. I just started. So Laura knows this. I can't draw. I just take shapes and make them into other shapes. And suddenly I was like, hey, there can be horns on this thing. And well, that was radical. So that's kind of the entire story. I'm sorry if it's not an epic tale, but that's basically what happened.
So has Ragical always looked like that, or is the Ragical we can see on the screen now an evolution from
it used to be
something he used to look like? Or
it used to be a totally black knight, and I'm like, no, it's gonna be a grayish knight, you know?
Right? Yeah, I got you.
I got you. A lot bit, and I do have other versions which are also shapes I shaped into other shapes, but they are a bit more detailed, and those are going on the thumbnails mostly.
Yeah, so you've got like a catalogue of varying poses and whatnot, I'm guessing then, because the amount of time, obviously being a graphic designer myself, I know the amount of time that it would have taken you to create the knight. So
it's
I can't
version. That's the kind of the funny thing. I used to have a much higher res version, but I lost the file, so I'm stuck with this one.
Got it.
I might have to create it, but you know, there's all kinds of shade details on there and little dots, and you know, it would be hard to recreate it exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's It's a lot of fun though, but you know.
Yeah. I'll quite often, if I've got any downtime, rather than just sitting there watching TV, I'll open up my design software and just design something and nothing, just to be doing something, because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, so what are we going to do today? We tried to take over the world. Now it's just I find some video and then I just oh hey, that's a fun video, let's just slap it around, because the video I made for today, I was still working on it around half an hour before this stream. So I usually just make the video the day I have to upload it, and I'm not good with thing.
Yeah, I tend to be like that as well. Tuesday's video, my intention is always to film it on a Monday, but Monday's probably one of my busiest days because I've got to go into work for a few hours and take care of ordering and paying bills and other sort of businessy stuff. So I generally end up only having a few hours on a Monday afternoon then, and frantically recording on Tuesday then to make sure everything's done and dusted, ready for the upload on Tuesday night. And then Friday's video, generally I'll either record on a Thursday and it's job and done, or if something comes up that needs my attention, I'll end up then in a mad panic on Friday morning then, trying to record a video to get it up ready for Friday night, because as I said earlier, I almost feel guilty if I don't don't upload a video,
because it's because you do have kind of you've got your YouTube members, you got your people who do super chats and all that kind of stuff, so you kind of feel obligated to provide some content for that.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely.
Because they are in a way paying for the content as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier. If somebody is kind enough to make some sort of financial contribution towards anybody's channel, then at the very least we should be making sure that we provide what we said we were going to provide.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly. It's give and take.
The turtle moves. That's actually a very good question, and I get this question asked all the time. What were the origins of the facepalm cannon? Yeah, I honestly don't know. I just introduced it. I found it funny because facepalm. I was like, oh, let's make a facepalm cannon. So it's kind of the origins are probably from the memes from facepalms from Captain Picard and all the other facepalm memes. And I was like, let's up the ante a bit. So
yeah,
a cannon evolved, and now I have a cannon that's constantly evolving because I can also fire projectiles at other people. And
yeah, it's funny though, the things that become things on our channels. Like, I don't even know where Tidy came from in relation to my channel. Well, I think I do actually. I think it was when I get a new subscriber during a stream, this new subscriber Tidy, I think it came from there. But it's kind of, and people ask me in every single video what it means. Well, it's just like, I could say, oh, this was a well Tidy stream, it was good fun. It just means it's good or it's awesome, or it's that kind of term.
Yeah, Spiffy had the same origin.
Yeah.
My funny words from the British dictionary, or Dell has some funny words as well.
Oh yeah, the Scottish are a breed of their own. Some
new subscriber. Tidy.
so I think that's where it came from. But it really is a word. I will say tidy multiple times every day. Like, for example, my eldest son had a new tattoo earlier, and he sent me a photograph of it. And I replied, "Oh, that's tidy, boy." So it's kind of, that's good, that's nice, that's awesome. It's that kind of thing. So to anybody who was confused about the meaning of tidy, that's the meaning of tidy.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that for me is, I usually don't speak English, so I don't really get the problem about that. That I use the English words in Dutch, because then I would get even weirder looks.
Yeah.
wants me to say something, Laura. Can you send me it on disc? Oh wait, okay, so QED. I'm guessing he's a Dutchman. He wants me to. Oh no, he's an Aussie. Aussies. Oh, wait, that's weird. How should we Aussies be saying poffertjes? Oh, I just said it. Poffertjes. It's like a little pancake thing you eat. So it's poffertjes. So there you go.
That just sounds made up to me. And people ask me to explain what tidy means. I don't know. Some people.
For a Creaky chat. Oh, okay. Yeah, he messaged me on thing. Yeah, it's easier if you do the @ in the chat. @ in the chat.
@ in the chat.
@ in the chat.
Dimitri is saying, like we Dutch say, vet man. That doesn't sound really Dutch to me. It just sounds like a bloke that looks after animals.
Yeah, that's like
in the superhero context.
Fat man.
Yeah.
It's a fat man. So it's basically, yeah, it's kind of the Americans have one. That's like it's fat. You know, it's like cool. It's like awesome.
Yeah. Languages are bizarre.
Man, kind of the same thing. Man. It's the exact same word.
Yeah. Do you find though a lot of Americanisms slip into other countries' sort of way of talking?
Like spreading their language around. That's exactly what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's there's a lot of Americanisms in sort of just daily conversations. I find, you know, and it's usually younger people, you know, calling you bro and that kind of thing. You know, it's all sort of Americanisms, as I call them. Anyway, it's just been pointed out to me in the side chat, and to you, Ragical, but you're probably too much of a gentlemanly knight to say, but you've got a premiere starting in 15 minutes. So if you're not subscribed to Ragical, this will be a perfect introduction to his channel. And once you watch and enjoy tonight's premiere, you can binge watch everything else on his channel.
I don't even know how many videos I have. It's probably too much. But yeah, I do have I do a bit different things than other YouTubers. I used to do the iPremiere, which is an interactive premiere. I've stopped doing those as of today, so I'm going back to pre-premieres. And a pre-premiere is simply me just hanging out with the people in the chat of the actual premiere. So sometimes I play video games, sometimes I just do a casual hangout in Discord, which I'm probably gonna do right now because it feels like I need to do some kind of after stream. It's usually half an hour. There's a counter on screen as well, which counts down to when the actual premiere starts. The Streamlabs bot, if it is working, it should post links in the chat and all of that. So that's kind of the thing I do. And the iPremiers are still online, which is basically everything in one. And then I usually upload the actual Order of the Series video as a separate video. But I'm going to do it like the pre-premiere again. So they're now already separate items. So if you would go to my channel, you would see two things there. A pre-premiere and an actual premiere of, what's her name? Bad Bunny or something?
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
So that's the thing.
Right, I'll be jumping over for that myself once they start in 15 minutes, I'm sure even I can manage to stay awake for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah,
so I will see everyone in the side chat.
That's the pre-premiere where I'm gonna hang out in the Discord. So,
right, okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much indeed to Ragical for joining me tonight. And the reason it's on a Wednesday night, it wasn't that I forgot to invite Ragical. I did invite him, but he forgot to reply. Then I forgot he hadn't replied, and before I knew it, the Sunday slots were booked all the way up until the end of March.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Ragical is a special exception to the Sunday live stream rule. Hence a Wednesday night live stream.
You actually came to me to come up with ideas for this. So, you know, I was part of the initial idea, and then we just, you know, I was busy this year.
Exactly.
This year, so it you know, we forgot.
It really was that simple. It wasn't that I didn't invite Ragical. So we have collaborated. We collaborated in forgetting about having you on as a guest.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much about the size of it. Right, anyway, if it is your first time here, I would be absolutely baffled that you've made it to the end of a 2-hour live stream. But if it is, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Jump over to Ragical's channel. The link is down in the description, and do exactly the same. I'm the Creaky Blinder, and I'm buggering off because it's not far away from my bedtime because I'm old and tired. And I've been up since 5:30. So, any words in closing, Ragical?
That sounds like a sleepy Creaky.
Sleepy Creaky indeed. Right, take care everyone, and I will see you in Friday's video. Don't forget to subscribe to Ragical. Let's get his numbers up. Bye-bye.